Hello, everybody. West Texas Stacker here. How y'all doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. Hey, I've been watching some people's stuff here. I got a couple days off and was watching a little bit. And I come to the conclusion that everybody needs more 10-ounce bars. And what a time to get them. If you want to wait and see if maybe the price goes down a little more, go ahead, but I'd probably start snatching them up before the price goes up a little bit more. Now's about as good a time as any. I really thought I had more bars than what I got, but 6 10-ounce bars, that's not a bad start. As you can see, I don't buy all of the same kind except for those IGR bars. Those are my triplets. I kind of really like those. 10-ounce bars are good for weight, for buying that weight, building that stack. They're a little bit on the pricier side. Most of the times they have a little bit less of a premium, except for that Archangel bar. That one's got a fairly high premium on it, I believe. But as far as that goes, the Red River Mint bar right there in the middle from Hero Bullion. It's a nice bar, nice simple bar, real pretty, real good finish on it. Got the Freedom bar there. That was I think I got that one as a Valentine's Day gift for Miss West Texas. But 5-ounce bars are just as good to build that weight. And yeah, man, gotta stack that weight. Stay away from the higher premium stuff. If you're new to stacking, it's kind of some of the best advice I would give. Did I follow that advice? No, not necessarily. Not in the beginning. People are going to push the Silver Eagles all day long onto you. You have to stack Eagles. You have to stack Eagles. Nah, you can stack what you want, and I do have a couple tubes of Eagles and whatnot. So I'm not saying that I don't buy Eagles, but you got to buy that. You got to buy that good stuff. The Buffaloes, the 10-ounce bars, the 5-ounce bars. Anything that's going to add weight to the stack at a relatively low price. That's my stacking advice. Don't fall for the BS that you got to stack the sovereign coins. They're fun to have. They're good to have. Don't get me wrong. But in my opinion, generic rounds that aren't, that are reasonable. I've seen some generic rounds with just as high of a price as the Eagles, but usually Buffaloes and whatnot, you'll get a fair deal on them. So, I know I always do this, but I was thinking today. So anyhow, folks, I want to talk a little bit about something I've been thinking about, and that is the shape of our military might in this world. As y'all know, it's no secret, I served and I was in the Marine Corps. And with all that's going on in this world today, what is our military readiness to response, and different theaters of the world? I did a little bit of reading, and it seems like some places, the Army and whatnot, they're having problems reaching their recruitment goals. You know, so and that in our defense budget has been cut a little bit from what I read, and so is the personnel. You know, so our military seems to be getting smaller and weaker, and I just kind of wanted some questions about that. You know, I had some questions about that, and why is it that the youth of today doesn't seem like they're as patriotic as you know, past generations. You know, I grew up, by the time I was 13 years old, I knew that I wanted to serve in the military. I didn't know whether that was the Army, Navy, or Marine Corps. I was actually talking to a Navy recruiter at one point in high school, and Home Skillet tried to shake my hand, and he did a little limp-wristed action, and I just showed him to the door, and that was it for that. And I started talking to the Marine recruiter. But I always knew from the stories my dad would tell. My dad was in the Army, and from the stories he would tell me, I knew that I always wanted to serve. And you know, and back then, of course, I was a little more physical fit than I am now, but from what I see and hear with these kids nowadays, you know, in a couple years, is our military going to be strong enough? You know, are these kids going to be able to pass the physical fitness test? Are they going to be able to be away from home, away from mom? You know, there's a lot of kids that you know, they've never experienced that. So, you know, and if I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me in the comments. But you know, this is just what I see, and I'd like to ask my son over here, Riley, or whatever he wants to go by, what he's seen, you know, with kids his age. You know, so Riley, what do you think it is with kids these days that make them weaker?
Well, kids my age are different from yours, because when you were our age, instead of being inside playing on video games, always talking to people online, you're outside, you were physically you were playing football, you were playing soccer, you were hiking, you were walking, and kids nowadays don't, and that's a really bad thing, because when it comes to physical, they aren't ready for something like what would go on during the Marines or the Navy. And I think a big problem is if a lot of kids are confused about their gender or their identity or their sexuality, then they're not even close to being ready for if they want to join the Army or not.
Yeah, that's a good answer, you know, and it kind of seems like, you know, that even goes as far as to just leaving home. You know, these platforms are brainwashing these kids, or you know, or just plain out confusing them to breed weaker men. And with weaker men, we're going to have a weaker military. Now, my boy here, he's not that weak. You know, he typical teenager, though, he does stay locked up in his room for hours on end, but he comes out to eat and swing on his punching bag every once in a while. But he made a good point. Is there anything else? You know, what do you think is the cause of this, other than the internet and social media?
Well, kids back in your day, they were allowed to go out places, they were allowed to go with their friends places. Kids nowadays stay cooped up inside in their room. They don't go out. They don't have to go walk around. If they go somewhere, they get drove in. it's a lot different from when people were able to join the army and be ready for it, be physically and mentally ready for it. And a lot of kids nowadays aren't, because they're treated more as if they were babies and they're actual teenagers or adults.
Yeah, yeah. I see that a lot. I really try not to play those games in this household, but you know, where we're at, it's not a safe place, and I do wish that he would be able to get out more and experience the real world, at least through a teenager's eyes. Uh, I know growing up, I could, generally speaking, if I wasn't causing the trouble, I could usually spot it, a mile away before it came. And those were just all life lessons learned. Um, where kids nowadays, I don't see them being able to have that, because mom won't let them cross the street without having a tracking device on them, or being so worried that, oh, he's going to get abducted. Hell, this kid's just about as tall as I am already. I don't think anybody's just going to be able to snatch him up so easy. Anyhow, one of the other things, with kids that I wish that one of the things that I wish that we would have been taught more when I was a kid was about finances. We're trying to pass that on with you, right? Um, what do you think about silver and gold?
I like silver and gold because, unlike crypto and actual money, it is really hard to both lose and go down in value. Even if it were to plummet, it still can go up. You won't lose that but with crypto or any online for currency, if it if the internet just seems to abruptly go out, people lose millions, while the people that backed it up in gold and silver will continue to have that money for however long they can keep that gold and silver.
Yeah, so everybody kind of freaked out the other day when the stock market crashed, and I don't think it really crashed as much as it kind of balanced itself out. But people lost a bundle on Bitcoin.
It was well over $10 billion lost.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Um, Whereas the price of gold, it did drop, but it didn't drop near that bad. So do you think that schools are teaching enough about like investing and financing and that?
From what I've seen, not really, no.
No. So pretty much what you have to learn about money is either gonna come from your parents or stuff you're gonna learn later on in life. And how many ounces of silver do you have saved?
I think I have about close to 10.
Close to 10 ounces? Yeah, I'd say that's about right. And your first purchase was a 5 ounce quarter that I think you got for $140.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's worth
About 280.
280, something like that, because it was a quarter, 5 ounce quarter that, at least that's what it said on eBay, right? Or some of the other online bullion dealers. So that was a pretty smart investment that you made, huh? Mm-hmm. And I believe that you were only 12 when you bought that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're understanding the concept of physical liquid assets,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, thank you for joining me. It's time to
You're welcome.
cut this short and say bye to everybody. And
Bye, everybody. Hope you have a great night or day, wherever you see this.
night or day. That's good because this goes out to all over the world, right? Anyhow, everybody, hope you enjoyed our little chat. Simplified. God bless.